Good afternoon. We're installing a software on the HP Officejet 4620. HP's lowest priced inkjet all-in-one, MFP, whatever you want to call it. Now, we weren't able to set up the wireless from the control panel because our Cisco Gigabit wireless and security router VPN 2.0 doesn't have a WPS button on it, so we'll be interested to see whether what happens during the installation program. I have a feeling we're going to have to hook up a USB cable, which is included. Okay, so here's your opening screen. Recommended software is a HP Update, which automatically checks online to see whether your software is up to date and it has something running in the background. The product improvement study, I imagine that it's either a combination of survey and or something that sends data back and forth to HP as you use it. Bing toolbar, you know what that is, and I can't stand toolbars. Iris OCR, you're probably going to want to install that because it converts scanned documents into editable text. And I'll tell you, every once in a while, it's a lifesaver if you have something that is a printed document on paper or image and you want to not have to retype it again. You can scan it and have it converted to editable text. You don't use it a lot, but when you need to, it's a big help. And then this Officejet 4620 help package, which you're probably going to want to install. I don't want Bing, I don't want anything on this side, basically, so I'm going to do a customized selection. And right here it lets us get rid of the things that we don't want. Now, you would probably want this on your PC, but we put a new MFP on this system every couple of days, and the software doesn't get old enough. We don't use it long enough for the software to go out of date. So I'm going to get rid of this. I don't need to tell HP what I'm doing with my printer, because I'll tell them in a test report, and I'll get rid of this. Definitely get rid of this this Bing bar. Muck up my browser. So next, okay, it's 1:20 p.m. We're officially starting this. I have reviewed and accepted the installation agreements, even though I didn't read them. Because if you don't agree, you don't get the software. Alright, I'm installing one of three, the basic device. Oh, man, I like the way that's looking so far. But these things have a habit of stopping dead in their tracks. I complain about this billboard down here, but if you've seen some of the other installs that I've done, it's a little tiny bar and a little tiny box, and you don't get any entertainment. You sit there and look at the screen for 10 minutes straight. I think I'd rather look at this little billboard slideshow here than nothing. Okay, now it's installing step 2 of 3, the Iris OCR software. It's 124. And now it's installing step 3 of 3, the Officejet 4620 series help. I've only had to click it to get it going so far, and it's been relatively painless. Not even relatively, it's been remarkably painless up to this point. But there's more to come. Now, that was nice. All right, if you remember, well, in case you watched the video before, we couldn't do the wireless setup on the control panel. And I don't know what's going to happen if I say I want to connect wireless, but let's give it a shot. Definitely don't want to connect USB if you have a network, because your ePrint won't even work correctly that way. Oh, maybe it will. I never tried it, but it does say on the control panel that you have to be hooked up to the internet in order to do web services and ePrint, and I don't believe that when you're hooked up to a PC that the MFP ends up on the internet. I know it does, so let's try this. Checking the network environment. The PC is on the network, obviously. Okay, wireless setup using a USB connection. It requires to temporarily connect a USB cable to enable the wireless setup. I'm not sure whether you need to do this. No, if you don't have if you have it hooked up already, the device to the network. If you have a WPS select button on your router, you can connect it from the control panel to the wireless router, and you would check this, it's already connected. But since we don't have a WPS button, we have to do it manually by specifying the SSID of the wireless network. We're going to have to use this the wireless cable. So it's telling me to connect the cable now, so let's do that. Okay, wireless cable's hooked up. I got it right the first time. And it's automatically telling me. I mean, I haven't had to click anything yet. This has been great so far. Installing the device driver software. We just got done doing a couple machines where this went on for 5 minutes. This little green ball circling around. This picture, a little icon of a computer down here. So let's see how long it takes, HP style. Alright, now you can see that the device is ready to use. It indeed did take about 5 minutes. It's like a lifetime when you're sitting here watching it. And you see the message down here, the device is ready to use. And by the way, you need to use the USB cable, and HP thoughtfully includes one. It's short, but at least they give you one. We just got done doing one or two higher price devices that required that you use, regardless if you have a WPS button, required that you use a USB cable. In fact, one of them didn't even have wireless, and you needed to have a USB cable, even print with it, and it didn't include one in the box, and it was $50 more. So thank you, HP, for putting a cable in there. So it's ready to use, and you see the network setup. Allow the network setup to access the router. Yes, let's see. I'm gonna actually our SSID is hidden, so I'm gonna. I mean, if I said yes, it would bring up a list of available routers. Ours is hidden, so I'm gonna enter this settings manually. And it actually it's going to find them all anyway, but I'm going to enter ours manually. And I'm going to wait until this list populates. Okay. So far, this has been like really painless, and this bar is moving much faster than I've been used to the last couple of devices we've tested. Okay, so it says it's installed successfully. Click next to continue. Now it says I could disconnect a USB cable. Gladly. Done. Next. Removing temporary files. Okay. See what's next. Probably the registration page. Okay, now this is actually the Fax Setup Wizard. And let's do this. Enter the company name. It's going to show up on the fax header. The fax number. This happens to be shared by both voice and fax, and since it's an IP phone versus a land phone, it doesn't have any distinctive ring patterns. So I don't have a distinctive ring pattern. If you have a landline, you get different kinds of rings depending on what's coming in. Maybe some IP phones as well, but you have a Cablevision Optimum triple play, and it doesn't have a distinctive ring. So we'll go next. You can also skip this fax setup. Is there an answering machine or voicemail? There's neither an answering machine nor voicemail. Only a voicemail service. Yeah, only a voicemail service is on here. Do you have DSL internet on the same? No, I don't have DSL internet on the same line. Are you connecting a computer modem? No, I don't have a modem on the same line. I'm sharing. Here's the review your selections. I'm sharing a voice line. I have an answering machine. I have DSL. I have a dial-up modem. So basically, we're sharing a voice line with this fax. Run a fax test, and you have to plug in a phone line in order to do that. I don't know whether I want to mess with that right now, but for the purposes of this, let me go back here, plug in the phone line, come back over to the PC, and let's see what happens when we run a test. Not only is it testing, you can hear it's now printing. On the little display panel here, it's showing me now printing. Okay, the fax test failed. I don't know why, but I'm not worried about that now. It should have. The print says a active phone line was not detected, so I'm not sure whether this is plugged in on the other end correctly. I'm looking under the desk here, but forget it. You know what it looks like under a desk. I'll deal with it later. Finish. Now we should be getting to the registration process. Okay, it's asking me about ink alerts. If you're the person who's most likely to be buying cartridges, you probably want to receive alerts about the cartridges right away. How would you like to receive ink alerts? Show me right away, or only show me ink alerts when I print? Only when I print. It's not going to run out of ink before I put it back in the box and send it back to HP. But anyway, you might want to think a little bit about this. Next. So in other words, if you have kids using it and you don't want them running out of ink in the middle of their homework project, be alerted right away, and so that you could have ink in stock instead of having to run out at 11 o'clock at night to Walmart or all-night drugstore to find an ink cartridge. You will have one in stock, ready to go for when it runs out of ink. And it will run out of ink at the most inopportune time. That's a rule. Call it Worth's law. It's configuring web services. Don't turn off the printer or use the control panel. And the control panel looks normal over here, so it's a good thing it's telling me don't mess with the web services has been initiated already. That's nice. It's going to print out a sheet that will show us what the settings are for continuing the activation of web services. And this is called the HP Printer Assistant, and it's processing, retrieving information from the device. Okay, and here is the Printer Assistant. It looks like it's in the web browser. It's downloading and extracting some files from the internet right now. And that Printer Assistant may be a program that runs. Yes, it is. Okay, we just quickly saw it there. We'll go over that once we get done with the installation process. Ever since I installed Java on here, it keeps telling me, well, I want to speed up browsing. It's annoying. Just leave me alone. Okay, it's printing out web services information now. It's you've seen it before in our other videos and test reports, but basically it gives you a unique printer code that you can go on and enter. We'll do that in a few minutes. Now it's asking me to register the product. This product is so new it probably isn't even on the list yet. So I'm going to skip this registration part altogether. But if you buy this printer, it's well worth it for you to do this part. And you can opt out of getting emails and stuff further through the process. So I'm going to kill this. It should continue with the Eprint setup. And we can do that here at the no, this is the printer web home page. This is something else. We can set up the ePrint here if the Eprintcenter doesn't start up automatically, and it doesn't look like it will. You can complete the Eprint setup here. This will let you look at what's printing on the print queue. This will set preferences, printing preferences, so that you can say, I always want to print in black and white as the default, which is what you probably should do anyway. Black and white draft mode, and then when you want to print something high quality, you just go into the print driver and you say print in normal mode or high quality mode. And by the way, this ended at about 1:46. That's 26 minutes minus about 2 minutes for my prolistizing. So in total installation time was approximately 24 minutes. Not bad. Back to this, customize your printer. This is a more in-depth customization. Maintain your printer line, clean ink cartridges, scan. Turn on, if you watched our how to scan video, this is how you turn on your this PC to make it accept push scans from the control panel of the device. This is fax, send a fax, a PC fax from here. Fax Setup Wizard, which we did a few minutes ago. Look at manage the fax settings. Look at the fax history, block junk faxes, and digital fax setup wizard. And in other words, this will let you, when faxes come in, it'll let you save them digitally somewhere on your computer rather than dealing with them on the control panel. So I just clicked that, and I'm not sure whether that was okay. So basically it's the digital fax to folder setup. So when a fax comes in, it saves black and white faxes to a designated folder. So the fax comes into your printer and you can send it to a folder. If I click Setup, it's going to ask me what folder do I want to save it in. You know, you could save it in My Documents and put a folder called Fax, Received Faxes in My Documents, and say to send it there. And then any faxes that come in will be digital. And then you can, if you want to, you can send them to OCR from there and have them converted to editable text. So this is a pretty nice feature to have. And I don't recall seeing this on too many other machines. Except for HPs. Close. Alright, so the home page, we've seen this before in other videos. Basically, you know, you could go to your web browser and put the IP address of the printer in there. If you know it, you'll see it pop up there. It's 111. You could actually go in your browser and enter that address, and this web page would come up. But the printer web page lets you get granular with all of the settings of the device in a graphic user environment. It's showing me the status. It's showing me the wireless status. You can do setup over here. You can manage settings here. There's tabs, scan, fax, web services, network, tools, settings, tools. You can do things like check a usage report. I mean, it's telling me items needing attention. Nothing over here. You can do a usage report. There's an ink gauge. And it's showing you graphically, and there are different colors, the cartridge names. You can order ink right from this link here. Great prices and free shipping sometimes.
Overnight, next day, I should say. So it doesn't hurt to order supplies ahead of time over here. Usage report. It tells you number of pages printed, black and white, color, single-sided, misfeeds, double feeds, scanned documents from the ADF, the glass, misfeeds in the document feeder, number of copies, number of faxes, all of this good stuff so you can see, you know, what's happening with your machine. The event log will tell you a list of any problems that you're having or any successful things that these are all successful events. But if you saw the same kind of misfeed over and over or some other issue, you could identify it here. So let's forget what bookmarking is. Oh, this allows you to use a static IP address, which most people don't use. And let's go back over here. If you watched our how to scan video, this is the web scan has been disabled. It's not set up. So we need to go into tools or settings. Settings, no. Tools, no. So web scan's got to be set up, initiated first, and I saw something here. Web scan. It's been disabled, and you have to set it up first. But you know, in our on our YouTube channel, we have a how to scan, and it's basically. So I don't waste a lot of time. It lets you scan right from here without having any software installed on your computer. You could go any computer on your network, type in this IP address, and do your scanning right from within your web browser here. This is a HP. It's not an exclusive, but it's something they've been doing for a long time. So let's stop looking at this. Set preferences is going to let us look at our what our print driver looks like. And it's really kind of simple. I mean, here's your layout, page order, orientation. Advanced is print and grayscale. This is something you might want to set up
as a default on. And you can use black ink only, which is actually the cheapest. Okay, you would do this and then OK. And then under quality, you would set, well, it's already a custom, but uncheck custom and say draft. And then make sure that this is set black only. Now you have a new custom, so anytime you use it, it's going to print draft at the cheapest ink, black. And all you need to do is, before you print a job going in, uncheck this and check best or normal if you want to have a document send out to, for correspondence or homework or a client or something like that. So make sure you do that. You'll save yourself a lot of money in ink. But that's what the print driver looks like. It's really easy. And finally, let's see what kind of software it installed on the device itself. In the program menu, we have help. We don't need real. We'll take a look at that quickly. Yeah, and see. Yes, it has looks like the full version of help is installed. We just did a top shot, and it had Smart Install, and it didn't have you didn't need a CDIC help, and you had to download and install a more advanced, and basically the HPs usually have videos. Let's go see what else. Let's go look at some others while that's screwing around. Okay, HP scan, we'll look at that. Software setup, that's what we just did. Support website, shop for supplies, uninstall. Update the IP address. If you have like a power outage and your printer loses power for a long period of time and your router goes down and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it gets installed a different IP address than it was set up with. Remember, ours was 111. And if you have trouble connecting, you can use this utility to update the IP address and get everything working again. And if you're having trouble with wireless printing, you can go online to their website. So here's the user guide. Let's look and see if there's any videos. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Let's look and see if there's any videos. Usually I have it for adding ink. Maintain, update, load an original. Okay, work with ink cartridges. Replace ink cartridges. And sure enough, down here you have a little video that shows you what you need to do to replace ink cartridges. Pretty cool. HP's good at this stuff. So user guide is more than just a PDF. Remember, a lot of machines, all it is a PDF. And it might have some index over here, but never this kind of depth that show me in pictures. So that's nice. So last and not least, let's go back over here and so there's a couple things. This, which we already looked at, and then let's look at HP scan. All right, you can scan from here. Like I said before, this is to turn on scan to PC capability. Let's put this. You can scan from here, and basically, I think it just opens up this, which is HP scan from over here. So it just opens this up. So you know how to scan video is exactly the same. Save as a PDF, a JPEG. Save it as an email attachment, PDF. Save it as an email attachment, JPEG. JPEG is a picture file. Convert it to editable text or an everyday scan. What you can do is, these are called shortcuts. So you could create a black and white scanning shortcut and use this create new shortcut here. So all you got to do is click it. Or a grayscale scanning, and basically these shortcuts, like if you'll see if we go to save as a JPEG, It changes to photo, 200 dpi color. If you go to editable text, OCR, it changes it to 300 dpi and then a rich text format. It saves a PDF. It goes back down to 200 dpi and then it's a PDF. So you don't have to muck around with these settings over here if you have the shortcut. And basically, if I click this, it's going to prompt me to go over and put the, and also look here. You can also specify whether it's going to be scanned through the document feeder or the flatbed glass. So if I click one of these, it's going to tell me to go over to the device and actually, are you ready to scan? You have to have your document all ready to go. And you click this, and it'll scan. Let's do one real quick. Got an original in the feeder. Let's save it as a PDF. Okay, and I'm going to click scan. It's preparing to scan. I mean, you got to be ready over there before you click scan. You got to have everything set up. I should have put on the glass. It would have been a little quicker. But you can put a stack of documents in there and have them scan automatically through the document feeder, which may save time if you have, multiple. If and when you have multiple pages. So you can see the scan coming in. Once it's in here, we can scan multiple pages, and they'll end up over here. If I hit this plus button, I can keep adding pages over here. Save them all in one document. You can rotate, you can adjust the contrast, you can crop, you can rotate here. This is undo. You can rotate either direction. Okay, it's done. You can see a thumbnail over here. I'm going to rotate it over. And if I click done, it'll just cancel out everything and say, do you want to save it? And if I click save, in your shortcuts that we saw before, you can say exactly what folder you want to save in as a default. And you can have opportunity to name it here and save it, and right now it's in the documents folder. And like I said, you can set up your shortcuts to have it say save in a pictures folder or a network folder down here, or a shared folder on another machine. So I don't need to save it. So basically that's scanning, and it's no, I don't want to save it. So, Eprint Setup, we need to do that. It's going to go to a web page. You have to have an account created, and luckily we do. This is to get the machine to automatically print attachments sent to it. It's going to have it has an email address, and if you send an email to the email address of this printer and it has an attachment, it'll automatically print the attachment. So it's like uber mobile printing. You can print from anything. You can send an email. So actually, it's gone into with web services. Go to the Eprintcenter website. This is the the embedded web page we were looking at before. Now it's taken us to the Eprintcenter. Okay, we sign in. We have a login already. You need to create one if you don't already have one. All right, so we have a whole bunch of other printers on here. Several of them we own, and this one is now looks like our 7500 is having some kind of problem. But anyway, add printer, and then we have a piece of paper that printed out there, and I had a code here on that piece of paper, 76 IPCL 035OMO. Okay. Invalid code. Let's see, a 76 IPCLO 35. Oh, and these are supposed to be O's, not zeros, knucklehead. O. O. There we go. Alright, here's the email address of the machine. You can change it. So if I send an email to this crazy name, next, customize the address. It's going to let us go through this. Here's the address, and it's like not really easy to remember. So you could name it whatever you want. I'm going to keep that address. Here's where you can say anybody who knows this address can print to it, or allow senders, certain senders only. So you can do something like they're going to pre-populate email addresses of people who have recently sent jobs to your printer, add new ones, remove those who you don't want on the list. So nobody sent any jobs to it, so I'm just going to make it myself. So if it comes from any other address but this, actually here's Kathy's address is already allowed as well. I'm going to add it. So only Kathy and I are going to be able to send prints to this printer. It's not a bad idea, since we're giving you all this information in the video, the email address and stuff. Okay, so we're all set up now. Anybody that has authorized can send an email with an attachment to this address, and it will print automatically. Beautiful. So that's pretty much it. We went over almost everything here. This is your printer assistant, which is available here. If I click this is going to come up. You can also go into devices and printers, find the printer, which is right here. Double click it, and you get a slightly different kind of an interface. This will launch Printer Assistant. You can set preferences, customize. So you can also get to the Printer Assistant through here. Okay, that's about it. Piece of cake. It doesn't get much easier than this, especially for something this $100. It's just far advanced. It's stuff that you could not imagine several years ago. So thanks for watching. Goodbye.